Well, welcome back to Mudgee. It's game 4 of 4 on this feast of rugby league this afternoon, thanks to the Country Rugby League. Morgan Campbell is my name. I've got James Robertson still with me here at Mudgee, and we've got the last game, and one that a lot of people have been looking forward to. The Illawarra South Coast Dragons up against the Monaro Colts in the men's under-23s country championship final. The Dragons on their way to this final. They beat the West Tigers 64 points to 4 in round 1. They belted Riverina 52-10 in round 2, and then clobbered Northern Rivers 42-22 in the semi-final. So they've had a really good run to this game as we see them make their way out onto the field. And we might take you through the teams. First of all, for the Dragons, number 1, Tony Pello. 2, Jai Brooker, as we see them making their way out now. 3, Dante Erafimo. 4, Michael Appleby. 5, Tyson Simpson. 6, Nicholas Greenhalgh. 7, Cameron Vazilar. 8, Jubilee Samiu. 9, Cooper Purcell, the captain. 11, Wade Aitken. 12, Joseph Dixon. 14, Tyler Clark. 15, Max Wolfson. 16, Cade Sampson. 17, Thomas Angel. And for Monaro, number 1, Harry Van Dartel. 2, Jaden Pollard. 3, Michael Geiger. 4, Isaiah Latu. 5, Cody Hodge. 6, Trey Williams. 7, Nicholas Cornish. 8, Noah Vanisi. 9, Zach Patch. 10, Bailey Luffhead. 11, Josh Stuckey. 12, Nakura Nagere. 13, Tyson Greenwood. 14, Lachlan Cooper. 15, Adam Lucas. 16, Matt Woolno. 17, Joel Ambrose. I've got James Robertson with me. You've seen a bit of these sides over the course of this season. Who do you like in this game and why?
Well, I've got a bit of a soft spot for the Monaro Colts, I do have to say, but both sides have been fantastic. I mean, the Dragons last week, a pretty good win over the Northern Rivers Titans, who were the champions of last year, defeating the Monaro Colts. So the Colts, they'll have a lot to prove out here in the final, wanting to bounce back from that final defeat last year. And like I said, very talented side. Harry Van Dale, as well as a lot of these players have played 20s for teams all over, whether it's the Dragons, the Raiders, or their abouts. Carolee Nolan is the official in the middle, as well as our touch judges Cam Smith and Pat Allen, as we get underway here at Glen Willow Oval.
Here we go. It's the Illawarra South Coast Dragons, who are in red, white and blue, and they're bringing the ball back with their first use. It's Monaro in the white, and they're running right to left on whatever you're watching this on, be it a smart TV or a phone or an iPad or a laptop. 40 minutes either side, so we've had some shorter games today, but this one's 40 minutes either side, full speed, full distance. And it's Illawarra South Coast, who've already got themselves a country championship today in the Laurie Daly Cup. Steaming onto this ball is their front rower, Jubilee Samiu. Now Purcell roaming and finding the 17 there, Thomas Angel, who nearly got a ball away. But look at the ground they've made early on. It looks just like the Daly Cup. Purcell fires it over the top there to Roberts, who's in 20. He dinks it in behind. This is a chance because Brooker's coming through. Here comes Brooker. The fullback's there. Will he be forced dead? He might be, you know. He will be. Through they came. And look what it means. They're wound up, these Illawarra lads.
Great defensive work there. Van Dartel just a bit off with his positioning. Had to get there quick, smart. Stop the try from happening. There's a player out there right wide. Can't see him. So number 12, Nukingiri, who was pretty quiet last week after playing very well throughout the opening 2 games of the regular competition up towards the semi-final. So wanting a big day here today, but just looks to be a bit of a singer. He's back in the line, and he'll be able to drop out.
It was a good meaty drop out too. And here they come again. Illawarra charging onto the ball, and again it was Thomas Angel with a big carry. They'll look to the right now with Samiu, and he's bumped down to the ground. Big shot. Zach Patch was involved. Purcell. Vazilar. They're grounded over there. It's back to Angel again. And busy early on. That'll be his 3rd carry. We're not through 2 minutes. Greenhalgh's out the back, but they go flat instead. Now they go to Greenhalgh. Now they go to the fullback. That's Pello. And this is the last. Purcell. It's a chance. It's knocked down. It could have been a try at either end. It goes into touch, and they'll get it back to Dragons. But it was Paul Roberts in the 20 there, scheming, and nearly had them over.
Yeah, good early chance. More of a ball-playing lock here. Roberts sort of sweeping around, coming. He plays both sides of the field, and the Monaro Colts with a change. Nicholas Halalilo in jersey 20 is starting. He did the same last week, so perhaps a bit of a ploy by the coach, Justin Gitter, playing some early mind games, bringing Halalilo onto the park, but whether he's off the bench or starting, he brings the same impact week in, week out.
So here's Vassaleur spinning it straight away, and there's a chance for Pello, who's got them running backwards, but he threw what you'd have to call a bit of an inadvisable pass. I think he knows it, and Tyson Simpson couldn't hold it.
Had the right idea there, but early in the tackle count and early in the game, maybe just the wrong decision there. Try and build a bit of pressure first, but God, he's got some wheels there, Tony Pello, and a lot of these players do have some toe. Michael Appleby, one of them, he's been fantastic all throughout this country championships for 2019 for the 23's. I dare say if we see him in a bit of open space, I don't think many people on this field will be able to catch him.
Yeah, he changed gears there pretty quickly, did Pello, and had the defence looking a bit worried there for a moment. On they come, and there's a chance straight away. They've spread the ball early, and they've reaped a reward. Off down the right, it's Latu. He sends it to the sky. It's a big kick. Pello's chasing back. He gets his hands on it really well. Now he spins around, and he'll have a go at them. And now here's Pello on a break back the other way. Well, this has been a good start.
Yeah, very good start. Expansive football from the Monaro Colts, and a few changes, a few reshuffles. So like they did last week, on the left-hand side you've got Isaiah Latu and Josh Stuckey. He's moved from the back row into the centre position. So trying to see where Jaden Pollard is. Perhaps he's gone to the centre position on the right-hand side. But a bit of a reshuffle. Again, like I said, a few players in and out of the side and shuffling around.
I think they do that just to make life hard for commentators. I think that's what that's all about.
Yeah, that's right. You're looking for the number 3, Michael Geiger, who, if memory serves me correctly, as we said, penalty there. He may have been injured in a couple of games ago against the Western Rams in that round 1 defeat. So although he's been listed here at number 3, I don't think he's out there. In fact, no, he is out there on the right-hand side. So God knows where anyone is on this field. We're just going to sit here and call the numbers as the Dragons kick the touch.
We'll see how we go. Yeah, that's right.
We just sit here and try and do our best here to bring you the best coverage that we can. We hope you're enjoying watching.
Yeah, here they come, the Dragons. Through Roberts, as you said, ball playing lock, and he's doing his day job there, carting it up the middle. And they'll look for another front rower, Samiu. He's been involved quite a bit so far already. We've just ticked past the first 5 minutes of the game. Over to the left they go. And this is Aitken. And that's the 20 that he's been grassed on there. Vassaleur. Inside to Angel. Back to Vassaleur. Vassaleur still going. Now it's Aitken. Now there's a chance here. It was Erafimo. Or Efaramo, pardon me. And this is Roberts. Greenhall. Found Dixon. Still Dixon. And this is last. Caroline Nolan has the hand in the air. There's a little run. It's Purcell. He's got it. They weren't expecting it on last tackle. And he's got the first points.
We've seen some great dummy half running all throughout today in Cooper Purcell. No different there. Just saw the markers were a bit out of place and got up, went to the left and got the ball over the line.
Clever little bit of play.
You'll see on the replay.
Yeah, we saw it in the women's game. We said good dummy halves run it at the right time. They were looking everywhere but him.
It was just that little dart out to the right-hand side. Caught Halalilo, who came out, and then he darted back in the left-hand side. You said earlier about those elusive players, and sometimes it's just that little step to the left or step to the right. It catches the big man off guard, but great play overall there by Purcell.
And it's now left to Cameron Vassaleur to try and put the 2 on top.
Now, we didn't have the best of days last week in Woy Woy with the boot, so he'll want to get every point that he can in this all-important final for the 23's.
I'd hate to think what the score would have been if he did have a good day with the boot. They did score 42 points.
Yeah, well, they ran amok last week, and he just didn't have the best day with the boot, so...
Let's see. That's a fairly decent position. I'm reluctant to jinx him, but it's not a bad spot. The touchies, incidentally, Cameron Smith and Pat Allen behind the post there. Caroline Nolan, the referee. She's very easy to hear, Caroline Nolan. She's got a booming voice.
Yeah, makes the direct calls and make sure that the players know their place. Very direct with her penalties if she needs to give them.
It's there. Vassaleur converts the try. So that's a really good start for the Dragons. 6 points to 0 before Monaro, really. They've had a chance to fire a shot. The Colts, in round one, put 60 on the Western Ramp, 62-20 out in Parks. They sneaked past the Central Coast, 16-12 at Wyong in round two. I swear that PA system's getting louder as the day goes on. And in the semi-final, they beat the North Coast 33 points to 6. So there's they've had a really good run through the competition, and you do know they've got points in them.
I want to talk about a booming voice. God, the ground announcer.
Yeah, it's got louder as the day goes on. I swear that he came in a bit hot that time. Maybe he's sitting closer to the mic for this game.
Maybe he's excited for the 23's.
Maybe
excited as we are.
Yeah, exactly. Why wouldn't he be? Yeah. Now, if you've just tuned in and you're struggling somewhat with these colours, it's the Illawarra South Coast Dragons are in the predominantly red. As here's a chance straight away for Roberts, scampering upfield and still going. Still Roberts. Still Roberts. He's not far away at all. That's the 20 there. And that's a very prolonged tackle.
Our numbers out to the right.
They go that way. Vassaleur. Greenhole. He'll kick again. It's a really good one too. It should sit up for Appleby. They're in again, the Dragons. He summed that up really well, Greenhole. It's 10-0 in a trice.
And that's really experienced work there from both Appleby and Jai Brooker. Sort of coming up a bit too early. Greenhole, experienced work from him as well, holding up the kick, waiting for Appleby to get back on side, and then chasing this kick through brilliantly from the right-hand side of the Dragons.
Well, they had the numbers. The pass would have been risky. He picked exactly the right option. Let's see it on the replay. There wasn't a huge amount on this way, but then he just looked up.
Just that dart to the left there just gave him a bit more time for Appleby to get back on side, and they were shot for numbers out to the right-hand side. But, yeah, it doesn't matter whether it's a kick or running. This kid, Michael Appleby, he can score a try from pretty much anywhere on the field.
Yeah, the defensive line's so tight there for Monaro, inviting them to go wide. And there was really only one result when they did. So, these are the only two sides who won both of their pool games, their regular season games, if you can call them that, both home and away. Then they both got through their semi-finals comfortably. But Illawarra got all the running at the moment. And Vassaleur is kicking from an almost identical spot.
Now, a lot of people would say that playing a longer competition would help out these teams to sort of have a few more wins than losses, but I don't know, the two rounds coming into the semi-finals, it really doesn't leave a lot of room for error. You've got to win your games and hopefully move on to the semi-finals. And like these two teams, winning both their games, there was no doubt that they were going to go through the semi-finals, and we're seeing him here in the final as Vassaleur.
Oh, he's missed that one, I think. No, the flag's gone up. He went over the post. Just good enough, but yeah, you're right. I mean, if you have a bad day, you can't really afford to have a bad day.
And we saw with the North Coast Bulldogs winning their first game and then losing their second game. Did manage to get to the finals, but the Dragons and the Colts both winning their games and moving on. Let's see the kickoff there from Williams.
Michael Appleby, converted by Cameron Mazzola, number 7.
So it's Angel bringing it back again. Illawarra with the running. 12-0. We haven't had 12 minutes yet.
Keeping up the clock they are.
Indeed. That's the 11 Wade Aitken. That's a good run again from Samiu, and he got the pass away, and it's Aitken who ends up with the ball the second time. A bit of overtime there. Now Roberts, who's had probably more touches than anybody.
A lot of space here in the middle for the Dragons.
Yep, he's dropped it. So the good start that they've had, they've given away the initiative here. And Monaro can have a first look at the Illawarra line.
Interesting to see here. You might not be able to see it on the camera, but Harry Van Data was playing about 30 or 40 metres deep. So would it be interesting to see if Greenhale or Vassaleur sort of saw that space in front, a little chip over the top. And like we said earlier, Tony Pelle, he's so quick, so fast. He could just race onto that ball if Van Dartel's out of position a bit. Definitely a chance gone begging there with the error, but the Colts, they'll have a chance here themselves through Geiger.
Yep, Michael Geiger out there in the 3, playing on the right-hand side. as James pointed out earlier, it's a bit alphabet soup out there at the moment. They've got players.
I think you'll find
numbers in all sorts of
Jaden
positions.
Pollard is the man that's off the field and not playing in today's game.
Now, out they come. That was Williams, and he hit Justin Halalilo. Short at the line. He's still fighting with them, Halalilo. The dummy half is Adam Lucas in 15, and he has options both ways. He picks one with the number 10 on his back, Bailey Luffhead, right in the shadow of the posts. They're deep both ways. Lucas pops it up. It wasn't a bad idea, but it's Pello who's got it now, and that's very much not a good idea. But he's rocked in a good tackle by Nagire. And they can come away with a full set of tackles.
And not good signs here for the Colts. Zach Patch already on the bench with the 15 on, and Adam Lucas, trainers sort of standing nearby him. He's an instrumental part to this side, Zach Patch, so hopefully it's just a bit of a head knock. He's come off for a bit of a breather and he'll be back later on in the match. But for now, Adam Lucas is on the field in 15 for the Colts.
So this is Dixon. It's halfway. You can see by the big sponsor logo. Bobbing and weaving there is Vasileur. Going out there to Greenhull. And he'll find Samiu. Again, running again. He's making a lot of metres every time too. The hand is in the air. This is last. And Greenhull's over that side. Bending it back towards the middle. Here comes Roberts. Needs the bounce. Won't get it. Oh! He got the tackle.
Didn't get the bounce. Got the tackle all right.
Your idea. And now they're off down the right.
Oh, here goes Geiger.
It's Geiger up down the touchline. He's away from a couple. He needs to get past that man coming across in cover. He's still going Geiger. Finally, they grass him. They can open it out, though, now. And they go hard and straight with Hodge.
And they got the man advantage. Roberts down on his haunches down on the 10-metre line.
He looks a bit sore, too. Up they go with Nagire. And that is the 20 they're approaching. Lucas. Williams. Good short ball there to Halalilo, but he couldn't bust through. Lucas looking for it again. Back to Williams. Still Williams. Short ball's good. Stuckey's dragged down. The ball's come away. It's a knock on. It's a knock on, and it's a bit of a relief for the Dragons.
And great defence there, I think, fronted by the 6, Nick Greenhull. Just got body in front on the bigger man, Josh Stuckey. Shifted out to the left-hand side centre. Really good front-on tackle, supported by another Dragons defender. Roberts making his way back to his teammates, so hopefully he'll be all right to continue.
So Appleby is rocked there as he takes it forward. There's a bit of sting in this game. Now, this is launched downfield. It's inside the 40. It's not heading towards the touchline just yet, but it has landed in the very green grass. Oh, that might be a knock-on. Push back. But Van Dardel with a chance to stretch his legs now. And stretch them he does. Towards the 30. A very good run. You did call him out as one to keep an eye on, James.
And a good kick there from Vassila, but just not a great chase there from the Dragons. Needed more. The halfback getting down there was the first man down there, but no one else chasing, and Van Dardel was allowed to move. And I tell you what, these big forwards of the Colts, just as strong as the outside backs are quick for the Colts.
Yeah, that's Luffhead, who was really jarred to the ground. He's a bit crooked too. He was hit hard. Now on comes Vanisi. Noah Vanisi. Last tackle. He's still down, Bailey Luffhead. And they'll go to the sky with Nicholas Cornish. Brooker's under it. Brooker takes it well. Wasn't under too much pressure, but now he is. He's swung to the ground by the jumper. And we will have a stoppage here because the man down in back play, it's Bailey Luffhead who was really jammed in the tackle.
I'll tell you,
a fairly ordinary, regulation hit up.
I'll tell you what, there's going to be a few sore bodies here. Greenwood just came off for his man, the 16, Matt Woolnow, grimacing in pain as he came off for a bit of a breather. But Luffhead, you said he got rocked, and some big physical contact here in these 23's country championships.
Not wrong.
Like there is with all four, across the board with all four competitions.
Well, that's right. It's been like that all day. I suppose you don't travel this far to get to country final and then not have a go. I mean, if you're going to come all this way,
That's
they've
right.
been hitting hard, they've been running hard. It's been really good.
They speak about the two teams making it. Congrats to the referee Caroline Nolan for making it. Was injured last week, but out there on the field today, so no doubt she's going to be happy to be out there officiating this game, fit and healthy.
Yeah, it is an occupational hazard for referees. They do a lot of running around. Now, Appleby, on a run that required a bit of ticker, it must be said. He had a couple fly up on him.
I've labelled him the Jackrabbit Appleby.
Oh, yeah.
Quick, Energizer Bunny, whatever you want to call him. He's full of energy.
Now, Vasiler found a runner out wide. That was Effaremo. They're spinning their wheels a little bit here, the Dragons.
And again, Van Dartel is just so deep. They try and take advantage.
So they pitch it on the 30, on the 20 in fact, and Van Dartel will go and pick it up from near his try line. And he's running a pretty good looking line, and they meet him strongly.
A good chase there. It was a 3 in Effaremo. I'm just not too sure why he's standing back so deep, about 30 or 40 metres. We've got some dangerous players as we see a tackle.
For the touchline. He's over the touchline.
Good defence.
Well, I think that was all fair. He's blowing up, but really, the momentum never stopped.
Yeah, it was all one motion. Maybe the coat hanger or the jersey swing. Grab it by the collar, but
you couldn't
looked
really say
like a
at
fair
any
tackle.
time. You couldn't really say at any time he was held. Let's look on the replay. But they've got him there, and then it's all, as you say, one motion.
Oh, mate, that's Tallis on Hodgson line. 5 on 5.
Exactly right. Not a memory that most people from New South Wales are eager to relive. There'll be people at home wincing as you mention that. Now, Greenhall, Appleby, with a chance, thought about passing. They're on the 20. And Greenhall finds Dixon. They could really kick away here, the Dragons. Roberts, short ball. He'll be held up at best there, Samiu. He's over the line. He'll get up and play it, though.
Yeah, about 5 defenders in and around covering up that
It's
ball.
a subcommittee. They have to be short somewhere else now, don't they? Here it goes out the back. Here's Greenhall. Back inside to Appleby. He's got 6 tries in this competition, which is a pretty good haul from 3 games. Now they go to the left. Roberts, arcing ball. Chance here for Erafimo. He's not far away. Out the back it goes to Vasiler. On the grubber, it's picked up, it's fumbled, it's going to be fallen on. They're going to say knocked back. And Monaro escape.
Yeah, and some interchanges coming on and off the field. You see the 19 Afamui coming on. Some well-needed break for one of the players out there, but just trying to get out of their own end. It's going to be tough. The outside backs trying to help out their tired forwards. It's quite warm out there, I imagine. It doesn't feel as warm underneath where we're sitting, but out there in the sun.
But it'll be play on, I think.
Here comes Appleby.
Ahead, Appleby will pick it up.
Oh, no.
Knock on.
So touched off the Dragons, Caroline Nolan's going to say. So I breathe a sigh of relief there. The Colts could have been 16 points to 0.
Yeah, she's called it as a knock on. That was a chance. Dear oh dear, that was a nervous moment. We're inside we finished the first quarter of the game. 20 minutes gone. Illawarra South Coast 12, Monaro 0. At Glen Willow Sports Complex in Mudgee, Morgan Campbell and James Robertson with you for the duration. That is a knock on. There was a hint of shove, and he's blowing up again. But the referee had to make a call, and make a call she has. It's the same player. It's Cody Hodge. So he's felt aggrieved twice now, but he's put his side under pressure.
He's the do-it-all man, Paul Roberts. He's been stinging in defence. He's good in attack. Bit of ball playing from that lock position, and he tries to spark the boys up. And a lot of communication out there for the Dragons. They all sort of know their role. They want to make another dent in this Monaro Colts defence.
Prime attacking real estate. This Greenhall, Appleby. Off that right foot, he likes that, doesn't he? Now, the 15 running on, that's Max Wolfson, who I think's replacing Samiu. And the 14, Tyler Clark's on as well, and that was loud contact in the shadow of the posts with tackles in hand. This would be a real blow. Vassaleur out there to Effaremo. Close to the line. A couple of tackles still left. Vassaleur had to reach up high to grab it. Finds the new man Wolfson with fresh legs. They're flat on the left. They're deep to the right. They go to the left. Vassaleur will go himself. Thought he had a look at the line. He's still going. Gives it away there to Aitken. Still Aitken reaching out. Aitken, he's held up and then he's over. He was twisted on his back and then got it down. And Caroline Nolan's going to award this. 16-0 with a kick to come.
Now, gee, that was harsh there. Cornish, he got his body in front, but there's really nothing much you can do with Aitken steaming onto the ball, not too far out from the line. You'll see in the replay, he gets his body in front, trying to strip the ball, I think you'll find, as they came out to the left-hand side. Some nice footwork here from Vassaleur, and then just beat one tackle, kept the ball alive, gave it to Aitken. You just see here, Cornish just trying to get the ball and just got fended off in the end. Just too big, too strong.
Yeah, he did a full 360 in the end to get himself on the deck. 16-0. They've skipped away. The Illawarra South Coast Dragons, who lost to Monaro, keep in mind, 48-18 last year in the semi-final. Monaro ended up runners-up. They made last year's grand final and went down 26-22 to Northern Rivers. And they're looking like runners-up again today, it must be said, after 25.
And I tell you what, some of the tries that were scored in that semi-final last year from Golden were absolutely fantastic. Taveto Rohart Tui Nauvai with some of the best try, one of the best tries I've personally seen watching rugby league. Just some of the, the kicks, the passes, just keeping the ball alive. So the Dragons, although it might be different members coming into this 23s, there might still be a few in there. They'll remember that. And they would have probably spoken about that loss to Monaro. And, well, they're 16 points up, so they'll be laughing at this point. But they want to kick on with it and make sure they keep playing for the full 80.
Well, Vassaleur's kicked nicely so far. He's had two from an identical position. This one's fairly similar position, just on the other side of the field. And he lines it up. You can see the... Oh, you can't quite, but there's... The flags are fluttering... There they are. They're fluttering a little bit, not too much, as this kick's on its way and over. The touch, he's very confident about that one. The flags went straight up. 15 minutes to half-time, and the Dragons, 18 points to 0 in front.
No doubt he would have been training all week with his goal kicking. Goal kickers, obviously, a lot of pride in their goal kicking, but poor performance with the boot last week. I'm going to come back and have 100%, and he does here so far today.
Off we go again.
A try to Illawarra by number 9, Cooper Purcell, converted by Cameron Rizzola. That takes Illawarra to 16. Takes Illawarra to 18.
So on come the Dragons. This is Roberts, weaving, and still going Roberts. He's had a real influence on this game so far. Purcell's at dummy half. There's another penalty. It's against the play the ball.
Yeah, not playing the ball correctly there,
Didn't
Roberts.
Stand up. It's been a feature of this competition, of all these country rugby league competitions this year. They've been sticklers for play the ball neatness.
And well, it came in last year, and they were very direct about it last year as well, and not taking any of that sloppy ruck. So good to see them clean it up. And if you can't play the ball correctly, you'll be penalised for it.
So a chance here for Monaro. They come on with the 19. That's Sione Afamui. Lucas is a dummy half. He's got them on the right. He goes that way. Lovehead, still Lovehead, who's recovered from that jamming tackle he suffered a few minutes ago. There's a short ball. Here's a chance for Monaro. That was Woolno. It was dragged down. Lucas. They got him. It's 6 to go, though. It was touched along the way. So Lovehead has it again, and they have a full set. That's an appalling play the ball, and something had to give there. It's a penalty.
And they don't want to take a shot straight away, I feel. They've got to try and build pressure, maybe force the ball into the in-goal and score a try if they want, but they're down by 18 points. There's plenty of time. Good run.
Rafamui barreled into them.
Good contact as well in the defence.
Yeah, they're setting up here. They're flat on the left. They go to the right. They go to Luffhead, who's had a few runs of late, and this time he's all inches away. He was
numbers out to the right again.
Just short of the line. They are short on their left edge there, the Dragons. Now, there's a stoppage. There's a player injured. And that means we're going to have a little hold up at a time when Monaro really didn't need it. They would have liked to keep going there.
Yeah, trying to build their momentum, trying to score some points and lower this deficit, but some solid contact there on Luffhead, and the Dragons player just down, and yeah, I dare say he'll come off for a bit of a HIO, concussion protocol. Doesn't look too well at the moment.
No, he doesn't overly.
He's a big boy, Luffhead. A lot of solid contact there on him. You would have to do that to try and hold him up over the line. That's what they've done there.
Now,
looks like it's the 11, Wade Aiken, one of the try scorers.
Yep. I think he'll be making his way off. He's even going to need some assistance, so there will be a replacement. 24 is warming up. That's Joel Holdsworth. So he's about to get an interchange card, and he's going to come onto the field. But Monaro in attacking position here as they resume, and look at them all lined up on the right.
Yeah, nice and deep as well. You got Cornish there and Geary out on the right-hand side.
All set up and ready to go.
Well, they've got weapons all over the park, Monaro. They know that they can score points. It's just about they'd be pretty upset with their defence in the opening quarter of this match, so they've just got to be patient in the way they go about scoring points.
So Lucas with options either way. He's still not off the field. Aitken, so Monaro have to wait. Now, Lucas at last. And he ends up, after all that, going short there to Matt Scott. They'll go to the left. He's Cornish. Short ball is not too bad. Here they go. They're in for their first try. Nicholas Halalalo on the edge. He's been threatening to do that, and he's got him this time. It's 18-4.
A nice short pass there from Trey Williams. He found his man that he needed to there, and Halalilo. There's been a reason why he's been promoted the last couple of weeks. He's a very good ball runner. He's great off the bench, but when he comes out to start, he just wants to prove a point to the coach that, you know, I deserve to be in this starting squad. So he comes out and runs a brilliant line here. As you see on the replay, the halves combining. That's a great indicator that, you know, this team, they can score points. Gives it away to Trey Williams, and then Halalilo there just, well, so often with these barge-over tries, it's so hard to stop men that are, you know, almost twice the size of you in some cases.
Well, it's a simple game. I mean, they utilise the size and, you know, defenders on the line, players running hard, and they dearly needed that with 10 minutes to go until half-time.
And typically the back row is running at the halves, so Greenhalgh, Vasola, Williams and Cornish, they've all got their work cut out for them in defence out wide if the bigger men are out there. I was just thinking earlier, you've got that battle between Appleby and Josh Stuckey. You could say it's a mismatch in many ways for either side. You've got Appleby, who's so quick and elusive, but also Stuckey, who's big and aggressive and a really strong ball runner. So I dare say in the remaining 50 minutes that we have in this clash, see it go over there. I dare say that'll come to be a point whether Appleby scores another try or we see Josh Stuckey get involved on the left-hand side for the Colts.
Well, these sort of things, they depend on who uses them better, the different strengths of the different players, but you're quite right, it is a contrast of styles over there. It was Michael Geiger who put that kick over, and it's 18-6. Illawarra South Coast with the better of it. But Monaro finally striking a blow after half an hour. And that will sit up, and Halalilo might fancy another run here, but instead they go down the short side. Trey Williams had a bit of a look there, thought they might be on. Lucas is in at dummy half. It's getting a bit willing on the touchline. There's a fair bit of advice coming in to Caroline Nolan. She's getting plenty of unwanted assistance from both sides. Now there's a question over who actually has the ball there. Afamui, it was. This is the 20, this is Halalilo, fresh off a try. And Monaro making decent ground here. Williams, they're up quickly on Stuckey. They're up even more quickly on Afamui. Maybe took the momentum away a little bit. As here is the 16, Woolno. And this is the last. Williams. It's off ahead. Oh, it could have fallen anywhere there. It ends up going into touch. You couldn't say that was played at. That was a falcon. Nothing more.
Well, I spent my week watching The Fan this week. Andrew Ross interviewing the famous Mario Fanning, the Falcon himself.
The king of the Falcon, yes.
So I actually didn't know that the Falcon was named after Mario Fanning himself. So
there you go.
The more that you learn day in, day out.
Oh, it's a good one too.
Right across the mush, the 13 there.
Got him flush. I think it was Cameron Vasile, the halfback, who ended up wearing it.
Falcon all the same.
Yeah, it's a beauty.
Definitely would feel that one in the morning as well as out there on the field at the moment.
I reckon so. As that looks high on Appleby, who's lobbed up on the other side of the field. The referee agrees. The armada of trainers come out.
Yeah, hopefully he's all right. It was a tough shot around the head. There's not much to him, Appleby, but the fast nature of which he moves, he perhaps just caught on an awkward angle by a defender.
Well, it can happen easily if you change direction. He is going to come off. So that might be another head injury assessment. Oh, he might not. Maybe he'll make his way back out to the centres.
I think the trainers, like you said earlier, they're qualified enough to know whether a player can stay on or come off the field. A lot of players don't want to come off the field, but
no, he looks
Appleby,
quite discomforted, but he went straight out to his position.
He's a tough nut.
Here's Holdsworth. This would be terribly demoralising for Monaro if Illawarra South Coast could score again here and stifle that recovery. This is Tyler Clark. Right in the middle of the park. Purcell. Wolfson. Still Wolfson. Still Wolfson. Someone in the grandstand thought he'd got there. Not far away. Roberts. Greenhall. It's bobbed up. It's bobbed up favourably in the end for Monaro. Van Dartle did well. Used his body. Got out.
Yeah, call for the early kick there, and Greenhall, he was looking for the two. Brooker. We see some good defence here off the line from the Dragons.
Well, Monaro survived. It felt like a big moment in the game, that, as Stuckey takes it forward. We've 7 minutes left in the first half of the last game. Hodge, it was. And now Williams says that's about enough of that. And sends it down. Feels a good kick too. Pello, very leisurely wander over to pick it up. There's nothing leisurely about his kick return though. Pello, there he goes, over halfway, and then he's met really strongly by
good
Lucas.
Tackle.
It was. That was Hodge, in fact, who got him. Now Holdsworth. They're building again, the Dragons. Effaremo. Another one before half-time, and they would have at least a hand on the trophy. Possibly about 7 fingers. That's Clark. Couple of tackles left here. The step from Vasile. Another step. Another step. Vasile next to the post. Dropped it. Dropped it. He was over. He'd done all the good work.
Regardless of the result, how great was that to see from Cameron Vasile? Just some footwork and the dummy, and he was right through. He just couldn't get the ball down.
That was a really good footy. He stepped off both feet on that run. It was a mazy run through the defence. And then at the last moment, bounced it over the line. Van Dartle. Still pretty willing out there.
Yeah, they're only down by 12.
Half the crowd thought he dropped it. The inside ball was thought about. It's thrown out wide instead. Here they come with Nagire. Now here's Geiger. Geiger goes back in field. Geiger throws it out the back. And he probably needed to throw it earlier. In fact, he's thrown it forward. Monaro. That was an opening.
I don't know about that one, Morgan. I thought it was thrown backwards. It was enterprising play out here to the right-hand side.
Let's have a look. Geiger, yeah, you
With
need
the
to throw
dummy.
it there. The dummy. I think he'd like to have another go at that. I think he'd reconsider
I don't know.
the
I
dummy.
think he threw it backwards and rolled on by the 5, Hodge, but not going to be called by Caroline Nolan. So the Dragons, they'll be thankful for that. And just shy of 4.5 minutes to go here, and the Dragons, I just want to get through, complete their sets, get the ball down the other end of the field, and back their defence for the remainder of our first half. And some push and shove here.
Yeah.
Nick and Geary in amongst it.
They're just brewing. Still got plenty of time for a bit of silliness to break out. There they go. Bang, good shot on Appleby. Who, if
He runs hard, Appleby.
Well, I hope he's not concussed because he got rocked back there. Now Purcell up the middle. They're looking for a penalty. We haven't seen many penalties in this game.
He told the coach he wanted to play in the prop forward, and the coach wouldn't allow him, so he had to just take it and sit down in the centres. But yeah, a lot of hard Mike Appleby.
Now, that's Simpson. We haven't seen much of Tyson Simpson in the 5, as we're just trickling towards half-time here. 4 minutes left. Let's open up there to Clark. There's a penalty.
Just raced up way too quick there, Lofthead.
Late
Bit
in the
eager.
count.
Yeah. And definitely the coach killers there, especially so close to half-time. We want to try and get at least one more possession, a shot of the Dragons' line, but the Dragons with a kick for touch.
Not an overly ambitious one, it must be said. I reckon that picked up a solid 7 metres.
Any metres that you can get, it's all going to be about the metres you get off this run here.
Yep.
And it's Tyler Clark.
It is. Up he goes.
Been really good off the bench since he's come on.
He's been willing, hasn't he? They're 3/4 of the way up the field. Roberts. Greenhall, here's the fullback who's been dangerous. Pello, but he's not dangerous this time.
Good tackle, Stuckey.
He got him. Really good. And he's up slowly. Greenhall into dummy half. That's Wolfson. They've used their bench in the second part of this first half. Purcell roaming to Roberts. Now Holdsworth. Bobbing and stepping and weaving, and still Holdsworth. In front of the sticks. That's the 10. Greenhall looking inside, finding inside, but it was a bit of a hospital ball to Wolfson. Still there for Purcell. This is last. Dixon deputising. Greenhall. The kick could go anywhere, and it goes to, of all places, the Dragons. Now here's a chance. They're going to score off this. Vassaleur grounds it this time. No mistake this time. There's a bit of luck involved, but they all count the same. 22-6.
And right place, right time there. The man from Shell Harbour, Dante Efaraimo. Just a ball ricocheting off a Colts player, and he picked up the ball. He offloaded it out the back, and, well, great support there from Vassaleur. Just, again, right place, right time as we see the replay here.
It was fruit salad when the kick went in. Could have gone anywhere. You're almost better off not trying to get in front of those sort of kicks, because that's what can happen.
A nice flick there from Efaraimo.
You'd be a bit upset if you were Cameron Vassaleur. I mean, if you were going to score one of those 2 tries, you'd sort of prefer to have scored the one where you went past 4 defenders. You know, step, you know, try next to the post rather than the one off the kick deflection. But I suppose they all count.
Definitely, but it's points all the same.
Yeah.
It extends the lead for his side. Heading into the break, his team would have needed that. They're now 16 up, looking to go 18 up. And, you know, a try before half-time. The Colts, you see the frustration earlier, kicking the ball away. They definitely wouldn't want that. And the coach is going to have a word to them. Justin Giddo, 16 points at the moment. I don't think is enough to win this game for the Dragons. They're definitely going to have to score more points in the second half. But the Colts are going to come out firing in the second half, or they're going to want to if they want to bring back this deficit and take the lead in the under-23's final.
Well, Cameron Vassaleur, who's kicked 24 goals in this competition so far in 3.5 matches. And that's his 3rd try as well, so he's got the points happening. That sends him past. That's 62 points for the season, or for the competition.
Not a bad tally.
No, not bad at all. And he's got a chance here from barely a metre in from that touchline. Look at that. That's a lovely image for Country Rugby League with the teardrop banner there. Here he comes. the last act of the first half is a goal. And it pretty much sums up how they've gone. As the siren goes in the background, Illawarra South Coast have pretty much had it all their own way. 24 points to 6, they lead Monaro, who really need to make some changes in the second half, or it's going to be a very long drive back to Canberra and Queanbeyan. Your thoughts on the first half, James?
Well, I'd like to ask you a question. What do you think the Monaro Colts need to do in that second half? Because they did a lot of defence down here, down their end, and I think that they looked okay when they got down the Dragons' half, but maybe just not taking as many opportunities as they were given.
Yeah, I think that's right. I think they've struggled to handle the Dragons' attack. The Dragons seem to have a lot of options. Their forwards are running hard and making a lot of ground, but then they're using the backs who are stepping and weaving. So there's a lot of different ways the Dragons are hurting them, and they can't seem to control them all at once.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, we'll be back in a few moments, but it's half-time here in the under-23s, and we will be back for the last 40 minutes of rugby league for the day. It's Morgan Campbell signing off until then. It's Illawarra South Coast 24, leading Monaro 6. Welcome back. It's the last time I'll say that. Welcome back to Mudgee for the final half of football that we'll see on this this four-pronged assault from the Country Rugby League. It's the Country Championships under 23s, and the Illawarra Dragons have got a fairly firm hold on things after the first 40 minutes as we're underway again. They're playing from right to left in the second half. Now the Illawarra Dragons are in the red. They're predominantly red. Monaro are in the predominantly white. And it's Monaro who have the first use of the ball. I've got James Robertson with me. My name's Morgan Campbell. And James, what do you think Monaro need to do here?
Well, I dare say we'll see that in the first 5 minutes. They've got to come out and, well, not do things like that. That's just silly there from Lofthead. But yeah, give the ball to their danger men. So guys like Halalilo and get the ball out wide. Nukingiri, he's been quiet once again here in the first half, so I'd like to see him get the ball. And then Greenwood, when he gets back on, the 9 and 7 are both off, which is not good signs for Monaro. Zach Patch and Nick Cornish. He'll be playing alongside Tyler Cornish and Mitchell Cornish for the Goulburn Workers in the Canberra Regional Comp, which starts tomorrow, I believe.
Halfbacks and hookers off the field makes it a bit difficult, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's it.
Here they come. This is Tyson Simpson getting a touch. And he spun around a little awkwardly. That threatened to go wobbly for a second. Play the ball slow. But the run is hard. Dixon. And they're into Monaro territory again. Up they come. That's the 15, Max Wolfson. Roberts. Still Roberts. He's thrashed. It was a Afamui who got hold of him.
Oh, what a shot.
Dear. Certainly was. Now here's Greenhall. Chucks it in behind. This is going to be awkward. It's picked up well, but hard to see how he gets out of there. But not with that attitude. He's out all right. Really well done. Or is he? No, he's not.
Grounded in goal there.
He thought he was. But he couldn't get out. And that's, it's more or less the perfect start for the Dragons.
Oh, I still can't get over that hit from Afamui.
Oh, yeah.
Levelled him.
Well, he's been troubling them, Paul Roberts. He's been charging at them. And that time...
Someone needed to come and pressure him, and Afamui did just that.
Yeah. Well. Here's
Here we go. He's lining him up again.
Bang! Up comes Afamui. He's had some good carts as well. That's the 20. The Dragons threatening to kick away here with Clark poking his head through. Chance to the left. Here's Roberts. He's not gun shy. Now there's a step. He might be on again here. He's already got one. Vassler goes back to Clark. Clark can twist. He can't quite get there. Options either side. Vassler. Still Vassler reaching out and holding himself up over the line. Couldn't quite get there. They'll go back.
We don't have the benefit of the video referee, but there was a player just looking around there in the middle. Interesting to see if that was a obstruction there, but Dragons with the ball.
Oh, it's been turned over. Well, it's an escape for Monaro. It was Pello chiming in at the back. And he's turned it over.
Yeah, the great escape there. And 18 points down, they're going to want as much of the ball as they can have. The Monaro Colts.
It'll be interesting to see if they want to start zinging it about, whether they want to start throwing the ball around and chasing the game.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't want to leave it too late. They can score points from anywhere, but I haven't really seen that attacking nature from them today. There's been a few drop balls.
Well, they did put on 60 in round one, so they've got points in them. There's plenty of attack there. Oh, come back.
And the referee was instead just getting a ref's mic adjusted.
Lots of scrum business today. Time they get away cleanly. So Monaro starting again. And there's Big Luffhead, who's had some bumps today. He'll be in the ice bath after this, I reckon. I hope it's not a bumpy trip back to the capital. Now there's a short ball there to Afamui. It was a good one.
Had support on the inside, couldn't get it to Williams.
Off they go. Inside ball again. They're trying up the middle. That was Woolno, and he's turned it over, and they've kicked it away. A very sharp hands from Holdsworth, but it was a forward pass, and then a knock on. Take your pick, referee.
Now, am I right in saying, Morgan, I do believe that kicking the ball away does result in a penalty in most competitions.
I was about to say.
It's happened a few times here today, and I can't say I've seen a penalty, so...
I did have that thought when the player from Monaro came through and belted that ball.
Just the interleague fan coming out in me. I mean, I wouldn't want to see a penalty to see the Dragons march downfield, but just, sometimes you think about these things.
I know what you mean. I had the same thought, don't worry.
Good to see we're on the same page.
Yeah, well, it's not necessarily a good sign for you. Now, here's Effaremo. And they're where they've spent most of the game. In the Monaro half of the field. Clark. It's popped up there for Wolfson. Very slow play the ball. They'll go flat there to Roberts. Still Roberts. He's got a bit of space. He's gone past a couple of Roberts. He won't get to the line. The ball comes out and they'll get it back Monaro. They escape again.
He's down there, Paul Roberts.
He is.
Had a bit of an injury in the first half as well. He came back up in the defensive line, but on this time, he's just, clutching at something. Can't see if it's a arm or... Last time I said...
a bit sore, doesn't he?
Last time I said someone was clutching at their arm, it was actually a sternum injury. So, I'm not a doctor. I'm just here to give you some insight on what's happening on the field. So just trying to do my best, but the trainers are out there on the field tending to him.
I think that's an important caveat. I think, the Bar TV cannot be consulted for medical opinion.
Yeah, leave the doctorship to the doctors and the commentary to the commentators.
Now, he's going to get
sick
to his
and
feet.
sorry.
Yeah, he doesn't look real well. I think it's...
Yeah, we'll take your pick. It's either the arm or the sternum. He's got a bit of a limp, so it could be a leg as well.
I think he seems to be holding that arm fairly gingerly. He's attempting manfully to stay on the field. Goodness knows why. If he's holding it like that, I don't think... I reckon they'd be running at him.
I'd love to see
into action and making a tackle straight away, but, geez, he didn't come out of it well.
I love to see the fitness of players, but if I'm Monaro, I'm running straight at Paul Roberts.
You'd think so.
As they do here.
Bang, he gets a good connection. There's nothing wrong with the shoulder. And he's done it again. He's tackled a bloke without the ball. Oh, there'll be a blow up here. Oh, yeah. This is on here in back play.
Fisticuffs.
Roberts took someone out who'd already passed.
Yeah, Adam Lucas there from Woden Valley on the deck.
He possibly may say he didn't realise, but gee, Lucas had enough time to make a cup of tea after passing the ball before he was hit.
And if I'm not mistaken, he was the same player that there was a bit of an incident a couple of weeks ago against the Western Rams. He was taken off the field. He's definitely a fiery character.
Let's have a look here. Bang. We'll have a look on the replay. Passes, whack. Yeah, it's a penalty. It's a general rule of rugby league that in order to be legally tackled, you do have to be in possession of the ball. So
generally, that is the rule.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't think those... I don't know if any of those punches landed, but...
no, I don't think so.
The punches that were thrown definitely would have helped the cause as Geiger.
Yeah.
Chance here for the Colts inside the half of the Dragons.
Yeah, there's a bit of lift in that. I wondered, there's not really any reason for Illawarra to go ratty here. There's 18 points in front in the grand final, and now there's a pass to nobody in particular. I think they got it back. Well, it went to a Dragons player. I thought it was forward. They're going to get 6 to go here, in spite of themselves. Now it's along the ground.
I'm not too sure what's going on at the moment.
Not really. It's gone a bit silly. Here's Williams. Playing it to Lucas. Now Afamui. Right in front of the posts.
Just since the intensity's picked up a bit here.
It has a little bit. Here's Cooper. Out the back to no one again. They'll fall on it. Van Dartle picks it up. Still going Van Dartle. He's been tackled 3 times. They've got plenty of tackles, but they need to start finding some chests. There they go. He was flat-footed there. He passes away. It's Hodge. It's still Hodge. He's got to look at the line. Gets it back inside to Nagire. He'll be held up and walk towards the line. Penalty. Roberts is on the red line a little bit here. He's just booted that into touch for no particular reason.
Well, he's putting what we said earlier to the test. I don't think Carolina Nolan was paying attention to the kick being kicked towards the sideline, but how on earth did Ngiri stay in there and then get the penalty as well?
I think he's wisely been taken from the field, Paul Roberts.
It was 4-on-1 there on Ngiri, and he somehow stayed in the field of play.
Yeah,
incredible.
Well. So Roberts has come off, which is not such good news for the neutrals in search of entertainment, but probably a sound decision for Illawarra. The coach, Wade Forrester. Now, Lucas looking for a runner. Finding a runner, it's Geiger. Oh, he was running hard. Didn't get it down. Held up.
Yeah, good goal line defence there once again from the Dragons. They've only conceded 6 points here today, and they've conceded 20 points throughout the whole competition. So the Monaro Colts, they knew that the Dragons were going to be here good in defence today, and they've showed it.
Lucas. Short ball. This is Loughhead. It's pretty good going. 20 points across 3 games. Lucas again. The flat ball to Afamui. Not far away.
Well, the space out of the right again.
They're looking. Cooper. Flat ball to Geiger. Geiger went himself. Finally gets it to Hodge.
No, they're going to call it lost football.
Chalked off. Forward pass they've called there. It was close. But the touchy on the near side ruled it.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's a really hard skill to acquire, but that catch pass, I think, needed to be the option there. Out to the winger in Cody Hodge. You see on the replay, it was the spin. That wasn't what was needed. He had to stand there, deliver with the catch and pass. It was the right idea, but just didn't execute properly there. Unfortunately for the Monaro Colts, the Dragons, they get the ball. You're going to see some tough defence here and some good line speed.
Poor old Cody Hodge has had a tough day. He's been dragged into touch. He's had a lost ball as there's a looping pass over the top. They've lost their heads a little bit here, the Dragons. Can somebody remind them they're 24-6 in front? Half an hour to go. They really don't need to be hoiking the ball from side to side like this.
Yeah, well, they do like to score points no matter how far they are in front, so perhaps just seeing something and going with that, trying to play what's in front of them.
Yeah, they have scored 116 points in their 3 games prior to today. Add another 24 to that as there's a penalty.
Holding down too long there. And again, late in the tackle count, the Dragons, the Colts, they'd held them down to about 30 metres. And, well, that's a well-needed penalty for the Dragons to get them out of their own end.
Yeah, there's something to be said for timing, isn't there? Monaro, maybe just having a little look in the game there. They'd had a couple of looks at the Dragons line. Maybe got some momentum going. The Dragons looking a little bit wobbly, and then they let them up the other end again.
And we've still got 29 minutes to go. There's still plenty of time, but yeah, you got to take your chances when they come.
So here's Samiu. Jubilee Samiu. He was really ground down in that tackle. Looked like it was in a mortar and pestle. Now here's Holdsworth. Centrefield. Into the last quarter. And looking to the right. It might be Greenhall in the end there. Coming back to Vasilo, who's already got a try. He spears this one across. It was fielded. It was attempted to be fielded there by Simpson. He got both hands on it, but even if he had caught it, I don't think he was going anywhere too good.
Yeah, and the day just doesn't look any better. I believe it is Cody Hodges on the deck. Went up for the contest there with the winger, and he's just come down very, very gingerly. His head might have rocked the turf.
Yeah, possibly a hard landing. Caroline Nolan's having some trouble with that microphone, isn't she? Since getting attention again there. Technical problems, please stand by.
And all important as well for the teams to review their games and make sure they know who's giving away penalties or whatever the calls are from the referees. We see the replay here from the contest of earlier. Just getting up above it. Oh, just, yeah.
Yeah, it's almost, it sort of looks like it's more his shoulders that have landed very hard there. But it's nasty.
Just
shoulders
contact down.
Yeah. No wonder he's not got up. Difficult day. Cody Hodge. Try disallowed.
I'll tell you what, they prepared the field for all 4 games and it's been absolutely spectacular.
Oh, it's like a billiard table. I mean, this is this is the last game. There's been 3 games already today. There's been about 3 hours of rugby league played, a little bit more. And, there's not a mark on it. It's fantastic.
I'll tell you what, it looks a lot better than the SCG right now.
Yeah, well, that's not much of a contest. But you're right, it's a credit to the grounds people. It wouldn't be easy, not easy maintaining grass out in these sort of western New South Wales areas, given they get so cold during winter.
I'll tell you what, it'd be a fun job being the curator, getting to know, okay, I've got to curate the ground for 4 games of finals rugby league. And to put out a field like this, I dare say you'd be sitting at home watching or at the ground watching and saying, I've done a damn good job.
Well, it couldn't look much better. It's held up beautifully. Now, that's a bit of an awkward, twisting sort of tackle. Nothing comes of it. I think if Monaro are going to get somewhere here, they need to start making their way. That's Tyson Greenwood in 13 on the field. Haven't seen him today. Now Cooper. And still Cooper. He's another relatively new addition.
Good sign there for the Colts. Cornish back on the field, the halfback.
That is good news. And he's thereabouts here, but it'll be Williams who throws this into the sky, and it's awkward there for Pello, but he did well.
Good take.
Yeah. And now it's Simpson who's been more involved in the second half, but he's going backwards rather than forwards there. And he eventually makes his way over. The Dragons seem to have restored a bit of control after a wobbly few minutes. And they're heading towards the Monaro half of the field again. Short side's on, and it's Greenhall who kicks this. He's really speared that into the turf, and it bobs up invitingly for Williams. But the chase isn't overly inviting. They got hold of him. And they're 85 metres from the goal line.
Interesting there. Williams at the back. Van Dardel also at the back. So whether I think he may have gone to the wing there for Hodge. So a bit of a reshuffle, bringing Cornish back into the contest.
Been a bit starved of opportunities, Williams. He hasn't had any space to work in.
Yeah, and that's what he likes to feed off. Both him and Cornish like to have a bit of real estate in front of them, and they're great supporters of the football. I just think the Colts, in instances like that where Halalila's wrapped up by 3 defenders, although it might be a bit risky, try and get the ball out to those support runners in Williams and Cornish, and that might be a bit of success that comes their way. But thus far, the Dragons have been sensational in defence.
Yeah, they haven't given them much room at all. Out it goes to Cornish. And this is, again, down there for Pello. This one's a bit easier. And he's got a pretty strong line to run back to.
And he takes the ball back with purpose as well, Pello.
Yeah, he had good speed up that time. This is Effaremo.
Well, these outside backs coming in to help out their forwards, who no doubt will be pretty exhausted from the hard work that they've done here today.
Yeah, the back's really coming into it now. You can see how many runs the outside backs are taking. It's been centres and wingers.
And even the outside backs, a bit of cram there for Remo. So
yeah, it'll be fairly. It's not a hot day out here today, but it'll be warm in the sun, and with a quarter of the game left, early in the season for these players who haven't had a lot of football, you would think they'll get tired. So there might be opportunities.
Although it is a rep competition, it is almost their pre-season to sort of warm up with a few games.
They wouldn't have had any club games. Yeah, that's right. So here's Vasileur. And this one's going to be taken. Oh, Williams. He had a juggle there. He got it in the end. He wasn't named at fullback and has only just gone back there. And that was a test reasonably well handled.
And these outside backs are going to come out and help. Just getting back on side now, the forwards of the Colts.
It's a bit of a holding pattern this game at the moment, isn't it? And as I say that, there's a knock on.
Yeah.
But we just got into a little rhythm there of back and forth, not much attack. And the Dragons will be straight back on the Monaro line.
Just trying to spread it too far deep within their own half. They are down by 18 in that clock. Well, before you know it, it's now 23 and a half minutes to go, so time definitely not on their side.
You can see what he was trying to do here.
Yeah, just
would have
try
created a
and
contest, but
get that ball out to Latu, who he's got some wheels on his own. But the Dragons, they want to take an opportunity here, and we've got 23 minutes to go, but try and ice this game. They've been very up and down in this second half. They want to try and get back to what worked in the first half. They try and do that with Appleby.
so a chance to put some even more distance between them and make this a point a minute kind of thing. They'll force Monaro into blind panic if they score again here. And they go flat, they won't be scoring off that. It was, I dare say that was not the plan. Purcell jumping out of dummy half and firing it almost into Max Wilson's head.
Well, I do see what he was trying to do, sort of shape out the back and trying to go the short ball. And sometimes those short flat balls, they do pay off, and normally they pay off with 4 points. But that time, Purcell just not finding the mark, firing at his teammate's head. And the Colts have, what are they going to do here in the last 20 or so minutes? They throw the ball around just like that.
Yeah, like that. Here they go, off down the left. And this is an opportunity for Latu. He's heading towards the touchline. He's still going, Latu. He's still going, Isaiah Latu. One to beat. Can't beat him. Pello did well. But that's the kind of momentum they need. Let's see if they can find something.
They've got to feed off this.
He didn't have many runners there, Cooper. Finally, he had Halalilo, and there's a Shepherd. Oh, dear. Well, frustration. Running around the back.
You can't do it, and well called there. Sometimes those penalties aren't called, especially when they're in the middle of the field, not in a scoring position. But yeah, you can't run around a player that's in front of you.
It's fairly elementary, Watson, isn't it?
Yeah, it definitely is.
The Monaro players are one of the smaller, one of the kind of closer cluster of players for this rep side. A lot of the local Canberra clubs, Woden Valley, Tuggeranong, Queanbeyan United, but also places like Yass and Goulburn. But West Belconnen represented as well, and the Queanbeyan Kangaroos. So it's they're not quite as disparate as some of those sides. Here's a chance for Holdsworth, who's tackled really well around the laces there by Geiger. Now here's a dummy half run by Sampson, and they're right in range again to sink the slipper here and probably finish this. Purcell goes out the back to Pello. Pello goes himself and scores. And that might be that, because with 20 to go, the Dragons are out by 22 with a kick to come.
Well, far too easy there from Tony Pello. I was really intrigued to see when he was going to include himself in this second half, and he just came in, caught the ball. If it wasn't Varsola, it was Tony Pello that was going to come in and dummy to the left and just use his speed. Very close to the line. It was going to be tough.
Yeah, you see there, he was just going a bit too quick. They had too many options to cover, couldn't cover them all.
And they have the numbers out there to the Dragons, so you can understand why the Colts rushed up, trying to put the pressure on the outside men. But the most dangerous man on the field is the man with the football, and that's the one that they didn't look out for.
Yeah, Tony Pello from the Western Suburbs Club in Wollongong gets himself a grand final try. And he's setting the world to rights out there, telling them all what they ought to be doing. 20 minutes left. And Monaro now are presumably going to enter the throes of desperation.
Yeah, some hot potato football, and well, that obviously wouldn't have been the plan coming into this game, but how heartbreaking to sort of make it to the final as they did last year in defeating the Illawarra South Coast Dragons in the semi-final, and now getting defeated by the team that they beat in the semi-finals last year.
Well, not only beat, thrashed 48-18 last year in the semi-final.
And they've just gone away what's worked for them. Yeah, there is a bit of luck involved, but there was just some carefree, just throwing around the ball, just trying to have a bit of fun. And you know, there's some players that have been moved around positions, and that'll happen in any team. But I think that I don't know, they haven't thrown the ball around enough today. But that being said, the Dragons' defence, what they have thrown at them, has been fantastic. And any amount of possession the Dragons have had, they've held onto the ball for what seems like an eternity, and they haven't really had much opportunity with the ball, the Monaro Colts.
So Cameron Vasileur has kicked his 26th goal of the competition.
Rack him up, 100+ points.
And there's a kick in behind there. Whoop. And that might be a penalty or it might be play on. It's not anything just yet. Eventually it's a knock on against Monaro. It's been that kind of day. It was quite a clever little play there by Cooper, but it came to nothing.
Yeah, well, they need to try anything, really.
Here. It could easily have been their ball. They didn't see it coming. But in the end, fairly scrappy.
Yeah, just through the legs.
Sorry, not Wolfson, Lucas. So Michael Appleby, who's had a good day, scored a try, and he's about 18 minutes away from potentially getting himself a winner's medal. There is a sense of a bit of revenge about this after a real dusting from Monaro last year. Over to the right they go with Greenhall, and that's a nice ball. Might have come out there. It was Appleby again over there. And for the second time today, he's in a little bit of trouble. And out come the trainers again.
Yeah, and I think with 17 minutes to go, they'll reef Appleby off the field. He's full of heart and he's played really well today, but yeah, he's got a bit of a sore head and I won't want to risk him any further. I'll tell you what, this Dragons organisation throughout all 4 grades, they're a really well put together team. You know, the 16s unfortunately didn't make it through to the final. The 18 winning the Laurie Daly Cup up against the Western Rams, and then the benefit of having girls like Kezzy Apps and Jess Surgis in the women's competition, they didn't get through to the grand final, going down to North Coast Bulldogs last week. But we see the 23's here, so a lot of talent on display for this Illawarra South Coast Dragons. All teams in the 18s, 16s, 23's.
It's an area that's delivered a lot of good players over the years. Illawarra and the South Coast. They've, back in the days of the Steelers, and now with the Dragons, there's a lot of juniors come from that part of the state, and they are a very strong rugby league area. And as of course have been the Monaro area, and the Raiders have benefited a lot from them over the years. But just at the moment, it's the Illawarra that have got the better of it.
Oh, don't tell me Appleby's all right to go on.
I think he's going to go again.
Oh.
I would wonder what's to be gained by playing on at this stage with 17 to go.
I want to find out what's in his DNA. Incredible. Tough stuff from Mike Appleby.
Yeah, it is. So that's the second time he's been down. The second time he's got back up when we called him finished for the day. Dixon has got to get up and play the ball here. And the Dragons can rack up a score if they want to. Here's Samiu. Out the back to Vassaleur. And this is dinked in behind. It's an awkward one to pick up. Van Dartel picked it up well, though. And now he sets sail, Van Dartel. There's still plenty of talk out there from both sides, but Illawarra in particular want to go on with this. Latu. Cooper. Still Cooper dummying and getting a ball away. A really good one, too. And it's going to be a bit like this, you'd imagine, from Monaro. They're going to have to take some risks. Now they have another injury.
Yeah, Stucky on that occasion. His legs just folding out from underneath him. Hopefully just a bit of a hyperextension. Trainer is running out. Awkward.
But again, it just costs them momentum, doesn't it? They might have got a bit of a roll on off that break. They've got to start again. Cooper. Luffhead. It's a good march up to halfway. 16 minutes left. Now a run by Greenwood. And this is last. Goes across to Cornish. It was a fairly dusty pass. So he just lacked that half second to kick. As the kick goes down, it's taken well there by Pello. They've been very competent today, the Dragons, haven't they?
Yeah, he's been pretty sound at the back, Tony Pello. Yeah, as last week, but he's got them out of his game. He's got a try this week as well.
Yeah, good afternoon's work. It's just been that kind of day. Hasn't been too much extravagance from the Dragons. They've just kept the mistakes down. We've got another injury here. This is like the last minute of an NBA game at the moment.
Yeah, Ferrimo going down. There's another player down in back play with a bit of cramp.
Well, if it goes like this, we'll be here until 7 o'clock. I suppose, as you say, though, it is early season for these fellas, and a bit of cramp is to be expected.
Just while we have the breaking play, I just wanted to speak about, we'll start with the under-16s, just the amount of talent coming through and competitions like we have with the country championships. As a fan of rugby league for about 17 years, it's great to have these alternative competitions to the SG Ball and the Harold Mats for more talent to come through at a rep level and come through and play competitions like this to play with other players as sort of join together and make a team. And just the talent on show in all 4 grades has been sensational to watch, not only this year but last year and every year that we do have the country championships moving forward.
Well, and it means that players can stay in their area, live where they live and still be able to play at a good level, improve as players, and also be in the shop window for NRL scouts and that sort of thing. I'm sure there's been a lot of people associated with NRL clubs watching these representative games, particularly the Johns Cup and the Daily Cup, and looking at players who've been doing good work. And so here's a chance for Pello, and they're off again down the wing here. This is Brooker, and he looks like he's going to set sail here. Brooker, he's got the man, he draws him, and it's knocked on by Appleby, who might have wished he'd gone off. He might be wishing he went off when he had the chance.
Oh, well, I thought he was underneath the sticks, Appleby.
That was a bombing.
Well, lucky for them, they're up by 24 points.
Absolutely. But he's thrown away a grand final double there, Appleby. Yeah, but what you say is right. They're very good competitions and very good quality as well. And a chance for players from all over the state to be looked at, as there's a penalty and a bit of petulance there, throwing the ball into the back of the head.
And then it's great to see, the 16s and the 18s as people move up through the grades, whether it be to Jersey Flag or they get into Jersey Flag squad or they start playing A grade and move up through the ranks. It's just great to see the names on the team sheets. Bloke I called a few years ago, Luke Gale from Orange, being named in the under-20s Dragons side, and he's been named as the captain. So it's just great to see the names come up through the ranks, and hopefully one day they make their dream.
Now here's Geiger.
No, forward pass.
Back again. Oh, it's been that sort of day.
Just nothing sticking. On any other day, it would work. It really would.
It's the second time that's happened for them.
See it on the replay. Nice dummy there from Williams. And then just fending with one arm, offload with the other, just floating forward a bit to Geiger. But for a lot of these players, this could be the first step to creating the NRL dream.
Well, it's an opportunity to get seen. All the games have been broadcast. You can watch them wherever you are, and I'm sure there's been people tuning in who are looking for the next player, the next talent. And you look at Country Rugby League and what it's delivered. You don't have to look any further than the names on the trophies: Andrew Johns, Laurie Daly. But in more modern times, Latrell Mitchell, Greg Inglis.
I dare say there's a few players, that we've seen today that could play at a higher level.
Well, I think that's probably right. And starting with that tour at the end of the year to England, which the 16s and the 18s are going on, and there was a lot of excitement around the ground when they were announcing those teams, because a lot of the players getting announced were standing with medals around their neck down on the field.
And what a great opportunity. They went to PNG last year as well, but to be announced and noticed and recognised in those sides, it's a great achievement, and no doubt they'll go over to the UK and do their area proud.
Oh, that's bounced back. There's a chance here for the Dragons. They're in again.
Did he get it?
They think they did. It's Cade Sampson who's got it down. It's the second time that's happened, where it's come off legs and gone their way.
And again, it was Cornish there trying to get to the ball. He just couldn't. The Dragons getting to the ball first. And it was Cade Sampson on that occasion. The kick infield there by Greenhall. And
he's a bit unlucky there.
Ball just ricocheting around.
I think it's Greenwood who it's hit there. I think he's a bit unlucky because it really just hit his arm.
And Cornish is sitting there in the in goal saying, "Oh no, not again, not me. It's been a rough day."
Yeah, it's been a bit like that. And that kicks the lead right out now, 34 points to 6. which in a grand final is a fairly hefty score. When they went down last year, Monaro, it was in a close one, 26-22.
Yeah, very good game. It was a try in the last couple of minutes from the Northern Rivers side that got them over the line. So their heads would have gone down, but coming into this one, they would have wanted to redeem themselves. But the Dragons, they've been fantastic throughout this whole country championships for the under-23s, and there's been a lot of talent on display, and they've showed here today why they have been the best team throughout this competition.
So, Vasila with goal number 27. It's there, and he's getting a little tally together here. That's 16 points for the day, pushes him to 66 for the competition. That's a good haul. If you're watching somewhere on the Illawarra, the country championship trophy is coming your way. With 10 minutes to go, and there's a call from the Illawarra players. Keep the foot on, keep the foot on. Here's Holdsworth. They might have another go straight off the kickoff. They might push for 40 here. Now Simpson. The ground announcer is a bit of a wag. Now, here's Purcell. Inside to Samiu. Into the attacking half again. Purcell finds the forward, the try scorer there, Sampson. Purcell started all of this with a try very early in the game. The captain, I don't think he's been off. Here he goes again. Vasile. This is last. Pello. They're trying it off legs again. This time Van Dartel's got it. He's running across his own line. He's hit hard and goes to ground. And if you try and assess the kind of year that these two sides have had, Illawarra South Coast finished dead bottom in the southern pool of the Johns Cup with no wins and one draw. In the Laurie Daly Cup, we know they won that competition today in a very strong grand final performance, 34 points to 18.
Against a pretty strong Western Ram side of mine.
My word.
Fantastic side they are, and you know, both teams went at it, 34 points to 18 scoreline. So the Dragons, they came out and they gave it their all and ended up getting up trumps.
As you said, they came first in the preliminary rounds of the women's competition. As there's a kick in behind, this is a little chance for Monaro. A bit of enterprise late on, but Simpson cleans it up. Yes, they finished first in the women's league and lost in the semi-final there to the North Coast Bulldogs. And now they're away again. It's Brooker. He's had a couple of looks, and this time he won't be passing to anybody. He might not even get there. He's dragged down just short. And there's a penalty against him for a double movement.
Well, that's great goal line defence late in the piece, or scramble defence there for the Monaro Colts. I thought for sure the Brooker was going to go over, but really desperate defence there from the Colts players. He seems to be injured, as we see another player down. Lofthead, that's his second occasion that he's been on the deck as well.
But with 8 minutes to go, 30 behind, you've sort of got a bit of an excuse to not chase that hard, and he did chase. But also,
you've got an excuse to chase hard to not make this scoreline bigger than it already is. So
yeah, they showed a bit of guts there.
Yeah, it shows you the mindset that they're playing with, even though they're 30 down.
Yep. For Monaro, they haven't had too bad a year either. They came third in the southern pool of the Johns Cup, so just missed out on a place in the semi-finals. In the Daily Cup, they came fourth. They were equal third in that competition. They were just one win away from making their way into the semi-finals. And in the women's competition, they finished fifth. They had one win and one defeat, and missed out on points difference on the semi-finals. They were just one place out of the finals. It's a slightly frustrating season for Monaro in all the grades, really. Just missing the finals in a couple of comps and losing on grand final day in the other.
Yeah, it is, but I think there's a lot of individuals that will take a lot away from the performances that they have had. They'll go back and play first grade for their respective clubs in the Canberra Regional Rugby League, and no doubt they'll have good seasons with their clubs back in homeland.
Now here's Cornish. Cornish with lots of options, and he didn't really pick any of them. And now it's Roberts.
Oh,
and if
great
he's got
pickup.
any sort of pace, he'll be away here, Roberts. He's lost his trousers.
He's been pants.
He certainly has. He might struggle to get them back on too, because I think they've been ripped beyond repair. Yeah. They go to the right. Here's a chance. It's Greenhall. Here's Appleby. He might still get his second try. He's flown into the tackle there. Don't tell me there'll be another stoppage for Appleby. No, he's all right. He gets up. Roberts has got his strides back on now, in good news. Now here's Vassaleur, still going. Gets it back to Samiu. Out the back. Fired out there to Dixon. Dixon looked for a pass, didn't need one. Didn't need one. Strolls around behind the posts. It's a lovely day for a walk. And he's got to try to take them to 40.
And Appleby, it would be filthy. He thought he was actually going to get the ball. I think he fought Appleby with the dummy as well. But a nice dummy on the inside. And another try here for the Dragons, and it's just been one-way traffic really in this second half.
That's pretty much right as we look on the replay. We saw this earlier from Vassaleur where he just bumped past one and kept the ball moving.
I'll tell you what, he could take up another job as a dancer, Vassaleur. He's got fancy feet.
He does, and then you see here that just the hint from Dixon that he might throw the inside ball was enough to keep the defenders interested and uncommitted. And he rolled around behind the posts and put it down.
Well, I know how dangerous the support players are, but again, it's the man with the football. He's the most dangerous man on the field. That's
always
the second time now that it's happened with a slight dummy, and they're just straight through. So, great stuff there from Dixon from Western Suburbs. Vassaleur, it's great to see. I don't want to put a jinx on him. It's great to see someone with a 100% kicking record for the day. He's right in front.
We've seen some good kicking today.
I'll let you take it away, Morgan.
We've seen some very good kicking. I don't think this one will take too much description. 10 metres out right in front.
Well, let's hope not.
Well, this will be his 7th goal of the day. And he's hit them all from all over the park. He's had them out wide, in the middle, and the result has been the same. Cameron Vassaleur, top point scorer. 66 points. Make it 68. 4 minutes to go on a very long day of rugby league here. We started at 10 o'clock this morning, would you believe? And we saw a very good game between the Northern Rivers Titans and the Western Rams. Northern Rivers getting the job done there, 18 points to 6. Then we saw a big win for Illawarra South Coast in the Laurie Daly Cup, 34 points to 18 over the Western Rams again, who didn't have much of a day in the end, despite hosting the championships. That's out on the full.
It's been that sort of day for the Monaro Colts.
Yeah, it seems obvious to say, but that's about how it's gone for them.
I'll tell you what, if you're a league fan like myself, you've got the Super League in the morning, you've got the 6 hours of action that we've had here today, and then we've got a triple header for the NRL.
Yeah,
so
that's right.
No shortage of league, plus you've got lower grades, both
really
Jersey Flag and Reserve grade. It's a real feast.
You can really watch football until about 10 o'clock tonight, having got up early out of bed this morning. And what would you rather do with your day, really?
What else is there to do on a Saturday? What is better to do than to watch rugby league on a Saturday afternoon?
Especially on a day like this. It's beautiful. 3 minutes left. We've had a good time in Mudgee. We've had a very good time. Now here's Vassaleur. Can they get another one? They might push towards 50 if there's time. Here's a ball out wide. They should go in here with Brooker, but he loses it over the line. So they'll come out to the 20. He was in touch anyway. It wouldn't have counted.
He's trying for that crazy one-handed offload to Appleby. He was in support, but just couldn't get it the way that he wanted. He seems to be hurt here, Brooker, as well. Clutching at the arm. I think he's just been swung to ground.
Goodness me, it's been like Saving Private Ryan the last 10 minutes around here. Unbelievable. I think we had the 15th minute about 45 minutes ago. Sorry, the 15-minute to go mark. Yeah.
It's been a long game, full of stoppages, but a game that the Dragons will look back on, and I'm sure when the time comes in about 5 minutes' time, when they hoist the trophy up high, I'll be really pleased with their effort out here this afternoon.
Yeah, they've been far too good They've really lapped them in the end.
And 20
Monaro with probably, do go on.
Yeah, 20 points that they've given up this whole competition. Sensational defence.
Yeah, it's very impressive, and it bodes well for the future of the St George Illawarra Dragons too, if they're producing this quality of young players. There's a ball fizzed out to the wing there. Here's Latu, throws a basketballer inside. This is Halalilo, who got a try what seems like a long time ago. Still going Halalilo. It was 18-6 at half-time. Oh, 18-0 at half-time, wasn't it? And they've really gone on with it. Here's Williams, met a little bit high. Here's Cornish stepping. Cornish will have a look at the line here and find it. He's there. And it's one of the least applauded tries I've ever seen. But Nicholas Cornish goes over and probably finishes the game. It's 42-10 with a kick to come. And that was a nice bit of work.
Yeah, consolation try for the Monaro Colts. And Nick Cornish, although he hasn't really been his best today, shows his talent here on display, gets the ball, pumps it to the right, steps back on the left, beats a tackler of 1-2, and gets the ball to the line.
Well, we haven't really seen him run the ball today, Cornish, but maybe that was a sign that we ought to have seen a bit more of it.
Yeah, he was off the field for most of the first half. At the back end for the last 20 minutes, he came back on with that injury to, I believe, it was Cody Hodge with that collision. So they shifted Van Dardel to the wing, and they had Trey Williams to the back, and they brought Cornish back on.
And they are celebrating behind the post. They know it's over. This kick will go over, and there won't be time for any more. I don't think it's in anyone's interest for there to be a kick-off here. As Geiger puts the kick over for completion. And that is the final play of the afternoon on Country Rugby League Grand Final Day. It is the South Coast Illawarra Dragons who have got it done. 42 points to 12 in the under-23s. And they've had a very, very good day in Mudgee because they won the Laurie Daly Cup and they have won the under-23s country championships as well. James Robertson, your thoughts on quite how they did it?
Yeah, well, what more can I say? It was a clinic by the Illawarra South Coast Dragons. The Monaro Colts, who've been great throughout this country championships, just didn't turn up on the day. They sort of give what they could have with all the possession they did have down the end of the Illawarra South Coast Dragons, but I think the goal line defence, although they did score 42 points, their goal line defence throughout the whole tournament, throughout the two regular season games, the semi-final and the final, I think that's what got them over the line. They just work off the back of their defence, and then with whatever possession they have inside the half of their opponents, they go on to score as much points as they can.
Yep, that pretty much sums it up. They were the best by a long way. 42 points to 12 in the end. They get the job done, and so the winners of the country championships this year are these. In the Andrew Johns Cup, the Northern Rivers Titans were the winners. A very strong victory, 18-6 over the Western Rams. Then at 11:30 we had the Illawarra South Coast Dragons winning the Laurie Daly Cup, 34-18 over the Western Rams again. Then in the women's match we saw the Riverina Bulls defeat the North Coast Bulldogs 28 points to 14. And finally, the Illawarra South Coast Dragons have beaten the Monaro the Monaro Colts.
It's been a long day.
It has been a long day. You'll allow me one in the under-23s by 42 points to 12. Thank you very much, James Robertson. Thanks for your company over the last couple of games. I hope you've enjoyed it. Thanks to everybody who has tuned in around the state and around the country to watch all four of these games. We hope you've enjoyed the broadcast over today and over the last few weeks from the Country Rugby League. It's been a tremendous few competitions and we've very much enjoyed bringing it to you. So this is Morgan Campbell signing off from dear and lovely Mudgee from a very big day of Country Rugby League. We'll see you next time on Bar TV.
Catch up.